Welcome to another episode of Draw All Monsters, where today we'll be showing you how to draw Gamera Rebirth's newest incarnation of Gyaos, Gamera's arch nemesis.
Alright everybody, and now we're going to get started on how to draw Gyaos, Gamera's arch nemesis. Now to get started on drawing the fearsome monster bird, you're just going to be doing a circle once again. Doesn't have to be very big. I would do a small circle right at the top of your page like this. The whole purpose behind the circle is just to get a placement of where we want Gyaos' head to be at. So, this is where his head is going to start. So, after you have your little circle, again, doesn't have to be perfect, just a simple-ish circle, we're going to go and do a line going through the top right here. Just a straight line above your circle. And it's going to be pointing down at an angle towards the left of the paper. And this is going to be the start of Gyaos' crest on top of his head. After you do that, we're going to go ahead and bring the crest down, and this is going to be the front of Gyaos' top jaw. And this Gyaos has a very interesting little curve on the front of his face, so it almost like turns into a beak, kind of. Gyaos normally has a straight top jaw and bottom jaw, and there's no curve on the front of the face where Gyaos' front jaw comes out. But this one has slightly a curve to it that's not quite a beak, but has the start of a beak shape to it. So after you have your curve right here, this is be the front for the jaw, we're going to go and bring a line and bring this right below the circle. And then once you get to the middle of the circle right here, we're going to drop a line down and bring it back up. And that's going to be the start of Gyaos' little curve in the top of the jaw. It's kind of got like a snarl to its mouth in a way, like a snarl expression. So after you have this part of the top jaw done, we're going to bring this line down. And this is going to be the beginning of the bottom jaw. And once you get right to here, you're going to go and pull this line down towards the front of the top jaw in this direction. And then you're going to go and pull another line down below it to form the start of the bottom jaw. And then we're going to bring this line and start to connect it to form Gyaos' face. And this is going to be the sides of Gyaos' chin area that connects to the bottom jaw right here where this line starts. And you're going to take this line that you just made, and we're going to pull another line going up. And this is going to be the side of Gyaos' face right here. Going to pull another line back towards the face, which will make like its little spike that sticks out in this area. Then form like a C shape going into the face, as you can see here. And then we're going to go and pull a line up. Alley-oop. And you pull this line up this direction. And then you're going to connect this straight line to this line right here. And we're not going to bring it into a point at the end. We're going to actually round it out very smoothly at the tip, like so. And then we're going to go pull it back into the head like this. Alright? And now after you do that, then you're going to go and add your tip now around the outside of that smooth area you just made. Now I'm going to show you what the purpose of making that shape was, the smooth shape on the inside of Gyaos's crest in a minute here. Now, after you have this, we're going to go ahead and hop to the other side of Gyaos's crest on top of its head. And this can be a little tricky depending on which way you design Gyaos on your paper. In this direction, how you're going to have to do this is start right here from the beak at the tip, right here where my finger's at, and you're going to bring this line that you're starting to make and pull it back towards the other crest, and you're going to start to make like a V shape on top of Gyaos's head, like this. Once you get your line to right here, you're going to pull another line out in this direction, and it's going to have like a little bit of a bend to it. And then this line is going to end with a tip. That's going to be a spike tip out, like so. And then you're going to go and bring this back into the head. And you're going to start to make like a U shape. And then once you get right here, you're going to go ahead and make a line that goes down the middle here. Bring it in. And then we're going to go and make this line and curve it in this direction, back into the cranium and back to the other point on the side of Gyaos's head, just like so. Now, after you've completed this part, what we're going to go back and do is going to go over to this side of Gyaos's head one more time. You're going to bring another line out. And we're going to go and connect this back into our point we just made over here. And then you're going to erase this one that you just made over on this side. Now, the whole reason I made you do this was to make a guideline that goes in between the first crest and to the second one to form his entire helmet shape he has. That's kind of like a arrow, like an arrow shape. And then you're going to go back right here, make a little V shape, cut in, bring this back over this way. And now we're going to erase our top line that we just made a little while ago. And then you're going to go and erase your little curve that you made at the tip again too while you're at it. And then you're just going to lightly redraw that line and add like a little bit of a bend to it near the end right here. And then like so, you'll have Gyaos's crest complete for the top half anyway. We still have to do some other adjustments here on the face, but I'll get to that in a moment. So that circle that you made earlier, you can use this as part of your guidelines for the eye. Now, what we're going to do now is erase the bottom half of the circle. And then you're going to have like a N shape, just something that looks something like an N shape at the top of the circle, like just a bend or a hill of what was left, like so. And using that, we're going to go ahead and draw a line out this way. Like that. And for other people who have not, who are not using the circle that you made, what you can also do is just draw a upper hill, like just like a small hill shape, curve, and then just do these 2 lines. And this will be just below the crest right here, in between the beak, in between the top jaw. I keep saying beak. Between the top jaw and the crest, and being like the epicenter of his head between the front of the jaw and the back of the crest. Now, after you have that, we're going to go ahead and make his whole eyeball. And how you do that is by bringing this line down and forming this back into a circle with your 2 extra lines still sticking out. And then Gyaos has these really thin pupils in this version, so he has a little tiny circle about this size. And you can put this in different directions. You can either point it towards the back of the head or towards the front. My drawing, I'm putting him towards the front. Sometimes Gyaos looks cross-eyed, so you can have like a lot of fun with his eyeball, depending on which way you want to make Gyaos look, either in a frenzied, crazy look, or maybe like he's getting ready to battle Gamera, which I'm kind of doing. So after you have that, we're going to go and hop on to his teeth, and once again, like how we did Gamera's, we're going to make a bunch of end shapes, starting from the top of the top jaw, and pulling it inside the top jaw, like so. And you're going to make these like medium end shapes that are going to be the basis of where the teeth will go. And Gyaos has a different number of teeth depending on what 3D model you're looking at from the show. So I'm just going to, for this, we're just going to kind of wing it and fill the top jaw all the way up till we get to right here where I've made that line at. So you'll see here in a minute what I'm talking about. So we're going to keep making these end shapes. Alright, and then it's going to stop right here where the bend towards the bottom jaw forms. And then we're just going to do this again by making more U shapes now. They're also the same kind of concept for the top jaw, and these are going to be for the teeth on the bottom jaw now. Alright, after you do that, we're going to do the little gums inside his mouth by bringing a line down and forming it into the jaw, like so. And then we're going to go and add his teeth by making little upside down triangles, like so, and making them a little bit serrated. So we're going to bring these teeth back in towards the bottom and top jaw, like so. Just kind of follow my strokes here. As you can see, and I'll like try and angle this better so you can like see it a little better there. There we go, and that's Gyaos' top jaw. Now for the bottom jaw, we're going to make the teeth just a little bit thinner and smaller. Okay. And now we're going to do the inside of Gyaos' throat by making another little hole or line that goes this way. And this is going to be the start of his gullet, basically, or his mouth, esophagus, whatever you want to call it. And after you have this, we're going to make Gyaos' crazy tongue that hangs out by making this line that comes from the back of the throat, bringing it outward, and making it like a giant worm almost that hangs out of its mouth. And it'll have a smooth tip to it, and then just wrap it back into the mouth like so. And then you're going to erase this line that you made for the inside of the throat that's going through the tongue, and just erase part of that. Alright, now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and go back to the crest one more time. And we're going to go and make a line right here. And then bring this line back up into the crest. And this is where the bend in the head forms. Like it's got like a bend in between the crest on this side and the crest on that side. But since this drawing you can only see the crest, this side of his head on this facing this direction, you're only going to be seeing this bend on this side of his face for right now. So you're going to make like this little point right here, these lines that connect up, and then you're going to bring this line back into the flat area at the top right here where my finger's at. And now after you have that, we're going to make another line and bring it down towards the front of Gyaos' face like so, and curve it in, and this is going to be near the front of his nose right here. And then you're going to erase any lines that you had earlier right here that are intercepting that new line you just made, so or just getting in the way of that line that you made a minute ago. Okay, just redraw this real fast. Okay, and now that you have this, we're going to go back into the top jaw right here, and we're going to make a couple squiggle lines. This is going to be the top of Gyaos' top jaw, and these are like little details on his face. We just make little squiggles here and there. And then we do some right here on the side of the face as well. Just like little small squiggle lines. They're like little wrinkles on its face, on the top jaw and upper skull of Gyaos' face. And then we add a couple more behind the eye to kind of like make the eyes look like they're a little more sunken in. If you can see there. And then we're going to go underneath the crest right here and add a couple to make the crest look like it's sunking in more. And these are just going to be done by making a bunch of lines that curve inwards, like so. Da, da, da. And then going towards the beak. I keep saying beak. Top jaw. I don't know why I keep saying that. It's because he's a bird, right? He's a reptile bird. Anyway, so we go right here, and now we make our little squiggle lines again, and you just do these by making just up and down strokes to apply light detail. Again, don't put too much pressure on your hand when doing this, just lightly do it. Alright. And now we'll go into the inside of his throat and shade that in black to add more depth, that this is the inside of his mouth. And this is where you put more pressure into your pencil, right here. Not too much, but just enough to like shade all that in. And then we're going to go to Gyaos' tongue and do more squiggle lines again to just show that the tongue has more detail to it as well. Alright, there's a little shading on the tongue. Might want to add some darker lines towards the back just to show that there's shadow. Like, for example, that the top jaw is covering the tongue, so there needs to be just a little bit of shadow where it's hanging from the inside of the mouth. And then we're going to go to the top of the crest now, not the lines anymore, and we're going to go add little squiggle lines down the middle of the crest, like that. And then add just a little bit of minor shading to the sides here by, again, doing different squiggle lines just to show depth on Gyaos' head. I'm going to do just a couple right here as well. Do 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 do. And left to right, you have little squiggly lines right here and right here at the top. And now we're going to just do a little more right here in the front of the face. And now Gyaos' upper head is complete. Now, after you do this, we're going to go to the side of his face again. And we're going to add another line right here just to separate the upper head from the bottom jaw. After we have that, we're going to go to the bottom jaw now and add a little bit of more shading by just doing some little squiggle lines down here. Again, like the trick to do it is like, imagine like you're drawing little loops over and over again, but really tiny and very close together. That's the trick I've learned when doing Gyaos' weird skin textures. So after you do that, right here, you're going to stop. And now we're going to make a bunch of like C shapes. That'll be just in different directions. And that's going to be like the little bumps under this side of Gyaos' head. And then you add a couple more bumps right here on this part of the crest. And then do just a tiny more underneath the eye, like so. Alright. And that is Gyaos' head complete now. Just making my lines a little darker before we continue the body. And now we're going to do Gyaos' neck and wings next. And those most striking features Gyaos has are its very large dragon-like wings that are very fierce. Before we get to that, though, let's do his neck. So, to do Gyaos' neck, we're going to go and bring his neck down like so into like an S shape. So you have something kind of like a S-shaped line going from here to here. And then after you do that, you're going to do another line. That'll be right about here from this point of the bottom jaw. And you're just going to kind of follow that S shape you made. Alright, it's kind of got like a goose neck going on here, the way that we're going to do this. And then we're going to bring another line down this way, make it a little thinner at the top, bring it in again, and now we're going to do the other side of Gyaos' neck by making another line and doing it the opposite direction and pulling it down like so. And you want to keep this line right here because it's going to be the middle of Gyaos' neck between its neck and its chest where the wings start to form at. So now that you have this done, we're going to go and draw Gyaos' body. And how we do Gyaos' body is by making, you guessed it, a oval shape, like how we did Gamera's. So, make like an oval. Fairly, not too big again, but just like a medium-sized oval shape. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, just needs to be wide enough to make it fit with the neck. Excuse me, I had to clear my throat. So, now after we have this, we're going to do a circle right here. That'll be the start of Gyaos' arm and wing. And do another one on the side. And then we're going to bring this arm up by making a line. Make another circle as the bend. Then bring it up one more. Bring another circle. Then we're going to bring a line all the way down like so. And then we're going to go do the same thing on this one. You're going to make this wing a little different. Same design, but different posture. Bring it down this way. Up towards the tongue. Make another circle. Where this will be the start of where his hand will be at, like right here. And then we'll bring this all the way down towards this direction. Okay? And now this will be the fun part, how we make Gyaos' wings. So, a little trick in doing dragon wings is Gyaos has 3 little bone pieces in his wing. So how you do that is by making one line going this way, down towards the middle. And then we do one more line going towards this direction. And then one more line this way. Then one more line going down here. So like doing 3 very long lines that go down this way, this way. After you made your 3 lines that make up the wing, you're going to go ahead now and do a line right here. And you're going to bring this up and bring it back down to connect into Gyaos' wing. This design I'm doing is where he's getting ready to take to the air and attack Gamera. So we're going to go and make a little bend in towards the wing like this, like make a little N shape, attach it to this part of the wing here. We're going to do it again by pulling this one further into the wing, make a smooth bend, attach it to that wing, and then we're going to make a very sharp line going up, back into the body, and making our curve again. And now we'll go do this on the other side by making our curve once more back into the body, then bring our shapes back up again, attach it to the line that we made down here, bring it back up this direction again, and pull it towards the wing like so. Alright, and now after you did that, we're going to go and erase these 2 areas of the circle. Oval, I mean. And you're going to leave this little line right here. And now we're going to go and make a smooth inward curve. And this is going to be the start of where Gyaos' lower waist forms, basically. But before we get to that, let's get back to the wings. We're going to erase the bottom of this circle and this circle right here. And then we're going to go erase these lines that divide the wings from the body. And then just leave these 2 lines right here. After you do that, we're going to go to Gyaos' claws next. This Gyaos only has 2 claws instead of 3. A very interesting choice by the creators, because Gyaos normally has 3, but they've removed it to 2 digits now on the wing. So how we do that, Gyaos' claws, is by making a line going up this way, and like how we did Gamera's, we make our point, bring it in, and by making that shape here, and then make a inward curve like so, and then just do that same thing but make a bigger one this time. It's a little bit wider, and bring the curve in again. Now we're going to do the same thing on this hand. Make a curve, bring it in, make a bigger one, make another curve, bring it in, and there you are. There's Gyaos' 2 claws. Kind of go like this. Have to apologize again about my nails being dirty. I was doing some other artwork earlier with charcoal, and I got some charcoal on my hands. Anyways, but after you do these claws, you're going to go and make this line and this line here a little bit wider. How we're going to do that is by making another line going on the top and bringing it down. And now we're going to drag this into a point, because these parts of the wings have like little spikes or claws of their own that stick out of Gyaos' wing. And we're going to do that same thing on this one. Make another line. Bring this into a point. Ta-da! And then we're going to do another point right here, but we're not going to make another line with it. We're just going to make like another claw piece that sticks out this way. And you're going to do another one that sticks out like right there. And do one more. And one more. Now that we have that, we're just going to touch up this line that you just did, at least on my end, just to clean it up a little bit here. So, there we go. And then we're going to go add our second line like from before, just to make sure like these two lines are not crossing with each other. And we'll add like a little bit of a space in between parts of this line when it comes up the wing, so like 1, 2 little gaps, and then we'll just continue it all the way up into the claw like that. And then we're going to do that same thing on this side of the wing here. Alright, and then we're going to bring this one down and add little gaps again. Okay. And there we are. Now that you have that, we're going to go and make the little bone structures on the inside of the wing from this point and this point here. So we're going to go and erase this line here and this line here. So we'll start on the left wing first. We're going to redraw that line and redraw the other line from right here. We're going to stop right there and bring it down, leaving a gap in between two parts. And we'll bring this line up again. Now we have that, we're going to make a little loop going up this way. Another loop here. Another loop like that. And these will be the form of the bones, basically, in the inside of the wing. And now you're going to make a line that connects from here to here. And these gaps now. Okay. Now that you have that, we're going to go ahead and make a bunch of little squiggle lines once again on the inside of the wing right here. And we're going to start from the top, make a bunch of really small ones. And then we'll start to spread them out more as the wing gets wider going down. And we'll add some more darker shading on this side, just to imply that there's more depth to the wing. Not too much, just very lightly. And then we're going to do the same thing right here. Starting from the top. Bunch of random squiggle lines. And start to space them out more. Keep going. Keep going. Then make a couple lines right here in the loop where the bend of the wing is at to imply more depth. Do a couple right here too while you're at it. Alright, and now that we have that, we're going to finish up the upper half of Gyaos' left arm. I'm going to get rid of that circle. Going to make that bend that you had in your circle right here. Then make another bend here, where like the elbow's kind of forming. And then we're going to make Gyaos' arm up here. Leave a little bit of gap in between the wings and go back to the body again, make this little inward curve like that, and we'll leave just a little bit of a gap in here like this. Then the inside of Gyaos' wing, we're going to go and add bunch of little squiggle lines pretty close together, but just with a little bit of tiny space in between like this. And we're going to start bringing this up here, doing that same trick we did earlier, where these lines are closer towards the top of the wing to the arm, and spread them out more in through this gap here. And then we'll add bunch of dark stroking lines going towards this direction to imply more depth in the wing, like there's more of a bend going on here. Alright, now that you have that, we're going to go ahead and now go over here to this arm and just add a couple squiggle lines towards the top of the arm like this to show just there's a little bit of shading here as well, because Gyaos' head is like covering part of the arm. And then we'll do a couple underneath the claws too to show that there's like a little bit of detail there. Go back to the wings, add just minor darker strokes here one more time, just to make some little adjustments. You're also welcome to make some cross-hatching lines right here if you wish. And how you do that is just by making some flat lines down here, and then going like across your straight lines that you made that are going up and down. I do it sometimes just to imply there's a little bit more shadow here. Now that we have that taken care of, we're going to go towards Gyaos' neck now and make all the little spikes that stick out under Gyaos' neck. And we're just going to do it similar to how we did the teeth, but make them more smooth. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There you go. It's got kind of like a frill of spikes going down the bottom of the neck. And then we're going to make a line that goes and connects to the side line you made here. And you're just going to keep connecting it from all the gaps in between your little neck spikes you made. And then you're going to make that bend again, going towards the back of the neck, and you'll have something kind of like this, where the side of Gyaos' neck have a bunch of these arrow-shaped armored plates forming down the neck. And then back here, you'll just go and add a few more if there's any missing. And then you'll just go add your little slit lines again on the left side of the neck now, making that same kind of curve shape that was forming. Okay. Now that you have that, we'll go and add our little spikes on this side of the head, or this side of the neck, and there you go. And now you do this side now, towards the back of Gyaos' head, where it's got slightly larger spikes now that are more rounded. Go. We'll just add a little bit of shading right behind the head and below the bottom jaw, where it's the head and the neck connect. There we go. Now that you have that, we're going to go towards this area of Gyaos' chest and fill all the detail in there before we go back to the right wing. So that way we have all of this taken care of and filled in. You're going to bring this line that you made from the neck straight down. And then you're going to make a U shape right here. Make it curve just a little bit towards the sides. It's going to be kind of like a armor plating, sort of. And then you make your muscles right here. And then you make a couple lines going inwards. Make 3 on one side, 3 on the other side. And then you're going to go and add a bunch of large spikes right here, right here, right here, and right here. And then you're going to move these lines up now in through all this. And now after you do that, you're going to make a little arrow shape right here. And you're going to make 2 lines going from here to here. This is like the shoulder blades where they connect in from the wings into the chest plate. And they're not going to like fully connect all the way over to the arms, but just enough so you can see a line forming right there. And then you're going to go and just add a bunch of squiggle lines in through the sides here. Right here. And then shading lines here, just imply depth. Do a couple squiggle lines here. Then do a couple little lines right here. Go. Then you're going to erase your center line now that you made. Now after you've erased your center line, you're just going to go over here and make a line that curves in towards the top of these chest spikes that you made. Like that. Now that that's complete, you're going to go towards these areas here, make a couple lines. And make another couple set of lines right here to start making the little shading area on the chest. Again, more squiggle lines here. Make a couple bumps by just doing that little C thing. And this is where you can kind of add some of your own detail at if you want. Alright. And now after you have this, we're going to go to the other wing now. And we'll start on the top right here. Get rid of that circle. And then form this into the basis of the arm with the curve in it. And then we're going to go over here. Back to the hand, the right wing. Bring this down with some little gaps in between. Go, forming our shape again. Okay. And now we're going to go and do that wing again like before. We'll erase this line and this line right here. Then we're going to do our little bone structure again. Spread 1, 2, and 3. Do the same thing. 1, 2, 3. There's little gaps in between, like from before. Thinner right here. My mistake. There we go. Now you have that. We're going to do our shading again. Adding some darker lines down at the bottom. Bring them towards this direction now to imply there's more depth. Same thing again. Add some more lines right here on the hand again, just to make our claws. Alright, now after you've done the bottom wings and the little shading right here on the bottom half of the wings, we're going to go and add our squiggle lines down at the top. Make them close together, not too dark, because the light is coming over on this side of Gyaos. So you have to make sure that it appears like there's light hitting the wing on the inside over here. Then we just do more of our squiggle lines going down, start to space them out more. Okay. Space these squiggle lines out a little bit. Go back in here and make these lines in the inner part of the wing just a little bit thicker so they're more visible. At least on my end. Yours probably don't need to do this. And we're going to go back to the wing. Fill this in. And we're going to make this line and clean it up, like so. Alright. Now we're going to go back to this arm one more time. Going to remove this spike right here. Have the arm cover that up. And now go add our curves again, the little squiggle lines. And the arm. Add 2 lines on each side of the wing from right here and 2 right here where it kind of bends, and then just add little shading lines right here, light squiggle lines. Clean this up down here real quick. And now we're going to be finishing up Gyaos' torso. And before we do that, we're going to do one more thing on the wings, where we add a U shape to each of the claws on the wings now. And we're going to go ahead and clean these claws up a little bit by erasing the tips. And we're going to bring these towards the body, like so. Alright. Now that you have that taken care of, we're going to go and do Gyaos' waist area. And we're just going to go draw this line down here. Separate the left and right side. Add a couple little lines and wrinkles going up this way. And then we're going to start the legs. And how we do the legs is by making oval shapes that stretch out. Both in this direction, that direction. Then do another set of oval legs that go over this way. Another one that goes towards this direction now. I'm going to make them just slightly wider and thinner towards the ends, pointing down. And then to make the start of Gyaos' claws or feet, we make a kind of a triangle shape right here. Alright, now that you have your little triangle shapes here, we're going to go back up into here and erase this part of the knee. It separates it. We're going to draw a circle now on the front. Erase the top of the circle. Now that you have that erased, we're going to go and do our front of Gyaos' feet by doing his claws. They're going to be much larger and pointing this way. Kind of same way we did Gamera's, these little N shapes. Same on this one. Then we're going to make these a lot more sharp, jagged, like that. Kind of like cat claws, except they're, talons. Do one on this side, like that, and then we're going to do another one on this one. This part of the leg. And then we're going to do another one on this one. This part of the leg. And then we're going to do another one on this one. This part of the leg. And then we're going to do another one on this one. This part of the leg. And then we're going to do another one on this one. This part of the leg. And then we're going to do another one on this one. This part of the leg. And then we're going to do another one on this one. This part of the leg. And then we're going to do another one on this one. This part of the leg. And then we're going to do another one on this one. This part of the leg. And then we're going to do another one on this one. This part of the leg. And then we're going to do another one on this one. This part of the leg. And then we're going to do another one on this one. This part of the leg. And then we're going to do another one on this one. This part of the leg. And then we're going to do another one on this one. This part of the leg. And then we're going to do another one on this one. This part of the leg. And then we're going to do another one on this one. This part of the leg. And then we're going to do another one on this one. This part of the leg. And then we're going to do another go. Now we're going to pull this in. And make another little loop. An N shape that goes over the top of the claws like this. Same way we kind of did Gamera's like last time. Okay. And now that you have that, we're going to go up here, make a straight line on each one of these to help center these shapes into the large feet that we've made. And then we're going to make Gyaos' back claws toward the back of the foot right here. And then one right here on this foot like that. And now we're going to go and erase all these extra lines that are part of the triangle and erase them. And then erase parts of the leg guidelines that we did that are down here. Just going to go back over top of here, make a couple little bumps on the claws, on the foot claws that go back towards the legs. Now we're going to go right here, clean up this leg. And Gyaos' claws at the bottom are black, so we're going to go and shade these in. Just a little bit of light coming off towards the top of the claws. So just do that real quick, and this is where you can put more pressure into your pencil. Really nicely shade these in, but leave just a little bit of white at the top to show that there's light still coming off of his claws right here. Okay. All right. And now, make a couple lines here, and here, and here, and right here as well. Make a couple curves right here, here, and here, and then make some inner lines right here on the legs. Just little details, the little squiggle lines right here on the outside of each leg, not towards the center just yet, just on the outside of the area of the legs like this. And now in these gaps towards the middle, this is where we add a bunch of lines that don't connect to the other squiggle lines that we made on the outside. These are going to be just like little detail lines to show that it has like little bumps and stuff that are separate textures from the ones that are on the outside, because the ones on the outside right here for like shading and to imply there is more shadow and depth going on with Gyaos. Then we'll add a couple bumps over here on this leg, doing our little C shape group, and then do another one on this side. Now we're almost done. And to wrap it up, we're going to go and do Gyaos' tail. And we're going to make a line that comes down this way. Bring it over towards this direction. And now you're going to go and make another line that comes this way. Bring it up. Bring it back down. And it'll have kind of like a bend right there. And bring it up one more. Bring it up this way. Go. And now we're going to erase our center line that we did. Clean up these lines on the tail that we just made. Now on the underside of the tail, we're going to make another line, kind of redrawing what we did just a little bit up to this part of the leg. And then after that, we're going to go and make a bunch of lines that come in and curve like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then after that, you're going to go and pull the spike up this way. Then pull another spike up here. One more spike. Keep going. And then we're going to start making the design of these spikes a little different, because at the end of his tail it has a lot more of a serrated edge to it. And how that's done is by curving up, bringing in, and then pulling back out towards this way like doing a claw, as you can see there. So I'm going to try and do this without my shadow of my hand covering it. So pull up, bring out, and pull back in towards this direction, then bring straight down. And you're just going to keep doing that shape over and over and getting slightly bigger as you do it. So pull up, pull back out, pull down, and just keep going, pull down. And then you're going to start to make them a lot smaller right here. And then the tail will end in a upward spike. Looks like that. And now we're going to go and erase this bend here. Bring this in more, make it thinner, and bring it back out. And then you're going to make your bottom spikes now that go underneath the tail. And they're smooth like this. There we go. And then we're just going to make the little serrated gaps in between right here to wrap things up. And that shape is just by making a little S-shaped curve and connecting the top spike to the bottom spike, like so. And then we'll go ahead and add some little details here. Squiggle lines galore. And through here. And then we'll add just an extra line to the tips of these to add more definition to them. Add more squiggle lines here to apply more depth. Again, let's add some darker lines to the underside of the spikes on the bottom of the tail to show there is shadow. And then we'll add just a couple more spikes right here. In this gap. And then if you want, you can also add some shadow below Gyaos' claws to imply it's standing on ground. And you just do that by taking your pencil and jotting back and forth like this. And then we'll do it for the tail too while we're at it. Just to show that there is more depth going on with its shadow and stuff, like it's casting onto the ground. And that is Gyaos completed. Congratulations, you have drawn and created the most fearsome opponent that Gamera has ever fought.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other drawing tutorials, as next time we draw the demon beast Jiger.